Welcome, welcome. Welcome back to San Miguel TV. We are back. We're back. San Miguel TV. Welcome. I'm here to talk about Joshua Jan. Let's see here. I'm back to San Miguel TV. So yesterday there was a shooting in Dallas that took the life of one detainee in an ICE facility in Dallas. The shooter's name is Joshua Jan, or Joshua Jan, Jahn. This is the shooter who took his own life, according to the evidence, according to investigators. FBI, Kash Patel, came out and said that the anti-ICE shooting was politically motivated. This is another political extreme violence, pretty much. This is political extremism and political violence going on, coming from the Democrats or liberals that seem to be very far left, which seems to be the norm amongst these people that lean more to the left. It seems like people that lean to the left are more extreme than the ones that lean to the right, but you can find people on all sides. What's up, Carlos? Welcome to the live stream. So this shooter apparently was against ICE. He was anti-fascist, again, similar to this shooter at the Utah campus, the university where Charlie Kirk was shot. The shooter in that situation was Tyler Robinson, and he did exactly the same thing that Tyler Robinson did, this shooter, Joshua Jan. But Joshua Jan is now dead. He committed suicide. He shot himself, according to investigators. Evidence that we currently have shows that he did shoot himself. And we don't know much about him at this point, except that he left markings on the bullets that suggested he's a far-left liberal who's against the immigration control that's going on right now, the shutdown on, the border, pretty much. Not really a shutdown, but yep. So that's Joshua Jan. He shot and killed a detainee. He actually killed an immigrant, an illegal immigrant, in the facility in Dallas, where it looks like he was attempting to shoot ICE agents, and he was able to shoot two other people that are in critical condition. But Joshua Jan is the shooter in Dallas, who's the anti-ICE, motivated by political reasons. This immigration lockdown that's going on, if you want to call it, is making a lot of people upset. For some reason, white people are very upset about this, but you would think it would be, Hispanics that would be out here going crazy, and trust me, they are. But I'm not one of those. I don't have a problem with tighter immigration laws. I didn't have to migrate to this country, but my parents did. And I still have family that are legal immigrants. I don't know anybody that's illegal in my family. The majority of us are first generation. Some of the children, the Gen Z, they're second generation, born in the United States. My family came from Dominican Republic. They've been working hard since they've been here. I mean, every single one of them, except for a few that I can think of that are on government assistance. bound to happen. Yo, chill with the Phillies, bro. Reno, what up, man? We already know the Phillies got it on lockdown in the East. But yeah, uh, Jessica Johnson, we're talking about the shooter in Dallas. His name is Joshua Jan, a white guy who committed political violence, a white liberal, to be more specific. It's what it's looking like at this point until more information comes out. At this moment, he looks, I would guess, the anti-illegal immigration push that's going on. As I was saying, I don't have a problem with the law coming down on illegals. It's just you got to do what's right. I mean, you got to be a hard-working, tax-paying citizen and go about it the right way. It's like having someone stay at your house that you haven't vetted and you don't know. Same thing goes for people coming into your country. You kind of want to know who they are, where they came from. Are they running away? Because that's usually, well, I don't say usually, but sometimes it's people running away from whatever, the country they came from, either because of something they did or maybe they are looking for a positive change and more opportunities, which of course they come to the United States. And yeah, what up, Bethany? Hello, everybody. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. I appreciate everybody that keeps coming back. Let's go Mets. Beat these Cubs tonight. And yeah, that's what we got going on right now. I mean, I'm not trying to get into sports news, but every once in a while I throw something out there. But right now, there's a lot of political, it's a lot of heated arguments right now in the political stratosphere going on social media and going on on campuses. I saw these MAGA supporters come onto one of these HBCUs recently and get chased out. The conversations, it seems to be over when it comes to the left and the right, with certain people on the left and the right. It seems like it's more on the left. They don't want to have a conversation. They just want to attack you. They want to stop your policies. They want to stop your positions or your beliefs by stopping you, instead of debating and coming to a conclusion where even if you don't agree, you can still understand where the other person is coming from. I can understand where people are coming from when they don't like that immigration is being too tough, or we're being too tough on immigrants, and we're looking for, we're trying to crack down on the illegals. I understand why people wouldn't like that, especially if you have family that's illegal, that's been here for years. But it is what it is. This is the rules of the country. Every country has immigration policies that they have to stand by. And this just so happens to be the policies that the president and the administration at this point feels is the best direction to go in politically for the nation. We can see what's going on in the UK. We can see what's going on in France, in England, in Scotland, in Ireland. And we can see that there is a culture change. There's a big change happening to these countries that had a culture on its own already. All this immigration coming into these different countries start to change the political atmosphere, because you're going to have people from different backgrounds trying to push different policies that benefit them. In this country, yeah, go Dodgers. I want the Dodgers to beat the who are they playing? The Diamondbacks, so the Mets can advance into the wild card. Great game yesterday, by the way. That went to the 11th inning. That was a great game. So did the Cincinnati Reds game against the Pirates. That's another one right there. Go Pirates. Baseball. I'll be at the Mets game on Saturday in Miami when they play the Marlins. The Mets are in town. I'm going out there. If anybody wants to say hi to San Miguel TV, I will be in Miami. I will be doing live streams from Miami. Check it out. Oh, I got a Sanchez in the house. What up, my fellow Sanchez? Andrew Sanchez in the house. Mesa, Arizona, USA, Phoenix Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks are a great ball club. But I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. The Mets are not going to go out easy, even though their pitching is horrible right now. It's a fun race to the finish for that last spot in the wild card, and you got Arizona, Cincinnati, and the Mets all battling for it. The Mets are one game ahead of each team, I believe. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the Diamondbacks. I like the Diamondbacks, but I'm a Mets fan all the way. I'm from Queens, New York. I grew up near Shea Stadium. I went to Citi Field this year to watch them play. I forgot who they played, the Brewers. But yeah, that takes my mind off all the politics. There's a lot of crazy politics going on, beefs, and the left is screaming on the right, and the right is pointing fingers on the left, and I've always been a person that I can see both sides, but it's something about the left that's been pushing me away recently, or for the last like 6 years, 7 years. The left has been really outrageous with a lot of their beliefs that I just can't get with. I can't get with a lot of what they say. The men playing in women's sports, the not being able to list basic biological differences between a man and a woman. I think that's pretty insane on the left. You can call yourself whatever you want, but let's be real about what's going on and who you are. Let's not try to lie to people, And yeah, the political violence that's coming from the left right now, it's obvious that they are fed up with Donald Trump. They hate the fact that he got reelected as the 46th president or 47th president of the United States. But yeah, baseball is a great sports. Period is a great thing to take your mind off all of that. Even though sometimes in sports you hear about political stuff, and I hate to see it, but I guess it's up to owners or the management to decide whatever they. I don't really like it. I never liked it from the time that Kaepernick was kneeling. I just like this stuff is just stupid to me. I think it's ridiculous that millionaires are complaining about being oppressed. LeBron James wearing Jacob Blake's name on his jersey, WNBA boycotting for Jacob Blake, a sexual assaulter of a black woman, because he was shot by cops, he survived. But because he was shot by cops, he's the victim now. And that's Jacob Blake. If you forgot who Jacob Blake is, he is a dude that got shot, I think, like 7 times or 6 times, maybe 5 times by police in Kenosha, Wisconsin, back in 2021 or 2020, right after George Floyd. And for some reason, the sports world united in boycotting and protesting in the name of a maniac who was trying to take his kids on a high-speed chase with police and pulled out a knife and got shot. And those are the consequences of your actions that nobody ever wants to talk about. And people don't care. They just say, oh, it was a black man got shot. It's a racism. And if they don't care about context, they don't care about what led up to the situation. They don't even know that the baby moms of Jacob Blake was the one that called the police, and she had a restraining order against him. And he was trying to take her vehicle and take the kids, their kids, on a ride. I don't understand what the point was, especially when police are there now, and they're going to want to talk to you because you have a warrant. Jacob Blake had a warrant, which they told him, and he didn't want to hear it. They never want to hear it. Whenever they hear, I got a warrant for what? You got a warrant. I haven't checked for what yet. I'm going to check that in a minute. For what's my warrant? I can't. No, I don't care if I got a warrant. Nah, tell me what it's for. You got a warrant. Shut the hell up. Deal with it like a man before you get shot the hell up for resisting and pulling out weapons. You could be mistaken for pulling out a weapon, and the cop is going to have the right to shoot you. Unfortunately, that's how it works. You might be an idiot, start digging in your pants and digging in your shirt, and the cops don't know what you're doing. You might get shot. It's so easy to comply. I've never got in a situation where I'm fighting cops or I'm getting shot by a cop, and I never will be in that situation. Um, I can guarantee that because I know how to behave. I've been around cops before. I have military in my family. They told me, they instructed me since I was young. Just do what they tell you. Even if you're in the wrong, the place to fight it is not in the streets. You fight it in the courts. Some people just can't seem to understand that. But people are gonna say, "Well, you don't know how it is to be black," and blah blah blah. Okay, I guess just black people are just out here, just constantly getting shot for no reason. Mr. Edwards, what is a racist thing that I said? Like, stop name calling out there. Even though my wife is Haitian, and she hasn't experienced anything racist, and she's blacker than some black Americans. It's sometimes your behavior is going to dictate what's going to happen. More white people get shot by police in this country every year. There are 5 times more white people in this country. When you factor out per capita and all of that, and you factor in the population, black people are getting shot at a higher rate. I'm definitely American. I was raised around all races, from black to Hispanic to Irish, you name it, Greek. I'm also part African. If you can't tell, it's very small, but it's a good 20% of me is African. But I don't care if people call me racist. The facts are facts. The way that people celebrate criminals that get shot by police, it's because they're black, and you guys are actually the racist ones, that you set a low bar for black people and you expect them to behave the way that they behave because you don't think that they could behave any better way on some of these traffic stops. And I've been doing videos about that for the longest. You can check all the videos on the school shootings and mass shootings and police shootings. I like to cover all that stuff. And it seems to be a pattern of why people are getting shot, by police. And it's usually 99.9% of the time is non-compliance. You could probably name 1 or 2 instances where the person was complying and they got shot because they didn't listen to commands, or the officer mistook something, like Philando Castile. That was one of them. But other than that, you have situations like George Floyd. That's another one. That one is it's mixed. It's a mixed results with George Floyd, because of the fact that his own heart condition actually lended to his death. Pretty much, it actually was why he ended up dying. Part of it was because he had horrible heart disease, and he's been doing drugs for over 30 years, 20 years of his life. That's why he expired so easily. But yeah. I mean, the knee didn't help. That was justifiable conviction of murder for Derek Chauvin. He was definitely supposed to get convicted, and that's what happened. But the reason why George Floyd died was a combination of the knee and his heart failure, heart disease, and all the fentanyl that he had in the system. Let's keep it real. He was not a Boy Scout. He was a fentanyl addict who did home invasions, who robbed his own people, black women, and was an amateur porn star, by the way. I mean, everybody brings up everything Charlie Kirk said. Every little thing Charlie Kirk said had to be scrutinized, but George Floyd was just like, no, sweep it to the side. Just never mind that part. He was a hero. I'm sorry, George Floyd was not a hero. George Floyd was kind of a scumbag, but he didn't deserve to die. Can we admit that? No, we can't admit that, right? Because he's black and he's an angel. It's a little weird how people treat black people in this country. They handle them like they're children, and they don't let them take accountability for their actions. And I think that's why you have the majority of murders that are done in this country are actually done by black people, and they're only 13% of the population. That doesn't justify anything, but it's just a reality that people don't like to acknowledge, and you're not supposed to say that. You're not supposed to call that out. But I'm the type of person that will call that out every day, any time of the week. So, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not saying, what you think I'm saying. 13% of the population doesn't mean that every single black person is a degenerate or whatever you think I'm saying, but there is a very, very normal culture or a culture that is normalized, that is kind of a degenerate type of culture. The way that we idolize Cardi B. Cardi B is one of the most ratchet, ignorant people in the world, and she has millions, billions probably, almost. And she doesn't even, I think she dropped out of like middle school. She can barely read. She's pregnant by another man while she's with some other dude. It's like, these are the people that are looked up to. And she's Dominican, by the way. I don't know. She gets an honorary black card, but she's actually Dominican. I guess she's a little Afro-Latina. But yeah. And Nikki and Megan, yeah, all of them. The Democratic Party put Megan Thee Stallion up. They paid her millions of dollars to shake her ass because that's what they think of you guys. That's what the Democratic Party think, guys. And what I like about the Republican Party is that they're actually trying to hold people accountable, like for the most part. When it comes to the law, they're tougher on crime. And that's what we need. We need more, tough laws. We don't need to be soft on crime. The dude that killed that Ukrainian girl on the bus, the black man that stabbed the Ukrainian girl that nobody wanted to talk about, he was arrested like 14 times. Systemic systems of systematic oppression. But the man got out 14, why he had 14 mugshots? Yeah, and he said, I got that white girl. And they don't want to label it as a hate crime. But anytime you find a black person that's hung, maybe he hung himself, people are going to assume it's racism, even though an autopsy will tell you, like Trey Reed, right? Trey Reed was found in Mississippi at the Delta State University hanging from a tree. And people are going to assume that a white man did it. The autopsy came out. It was no foul play. It's a self-inflicted, it's a suicide. Here comes Kaepernick now, wants to do an independent autopsy because they don't trust the police department, the university, because a conspiracy theory between a police department and a university to cover up a lynching is much more plausible than somebody just killed themselves, right? I mean, the ignorance on the left is what it is, because you see white liberals acting just ignorant. Just because you find a black man hanging from a tree, it doesn't mean that black man was lynched. People commit suicide. I know that white people commit suicide at a way higher rate than black people. We know that, but there was also a white man found hanging from a tree in Mississippi. What do you call that? And why don't you assume that a black person hung him? White people were hung. White people were lynched all throughout the 1800s and 1700s because it was a form of corporal punishment. The person that killed Kirk was one person. Who commits the majority of the murders in this country? At 13% of the population. But who killed Kirk? Some trans-loving white guy that probably agreed with black people on politics. That's who it was. It was trans-loving, LGBTQ, black people ass-kissing liberal that probably we would never admit all the crazy degeneracy that goes on. Floyd's niece. Nobody ever heard about that, right? Who shot George Floyd's niece? It wasn't a white person. But nobody heard about that, right? No. That guy was not a Republican. His parents and his family of Tyler Robinson, April Flowers, why don't you do research? He was writing anti-fascism. Antifa is left-leaning. His parents were MAGA, and his parents said that he has been drifting away from his core values that his family gave him, which are conservative values, and he started going left. That's why he started dating a trans. That's not typical of MAGA. That's why he was pro-LGBTQ. That's not really typical of MAGA. And that's why he also was against Charlie Kirk, because Charlie Kirk was a conservative and he was a lefty. How the hell, why don't you listen to what the mother said? The mother said that he started arguing, Tyler Robinson, who killed Charlie Kirk, started arguing with his own family about politics. His family was conservative, and he started opposing them, which means he started being more left. That's not bullshit. Go read the USA Today article about Tyler Robinson where they spoke to his mother, and his mother said that he has been drifting further left. Don't talk on this shit if you don't know what you're talking about, April. This is what I do, okay? You don't know what you're talking about. His parents were MAGA. His parents said that he started drifting to the left. He became pro-LGBTQ. He was dating a trans, a furry. The people in the furry community are largely liberal, largely liberal. People that are gay are largely liberal too. That doesn't mean that, oh, he's gay, he must be liberal. But the fact that on top of that, he killed Charlie Kirk because he considered him a fascist. Who are the people that are constantly calling Republicans fascists? It's not Republicans. It's actually lefties. You need to stop lying and actually tell the truth about what's going on. When you're writing anti-fascism mantras on your bullets, that's Antifa. That's literally people on the left who are being violent, who also shot the ICE agents. This guy was the dude on the left that was anti-immigration control, which is people on the left. This is all lefty violence, political violence on the left. And now you want to straw man me because you, first of all, people on the left are the ones that want trans to read to children in libraries. That's what people on the left want. They want children to be able to cut off their dicks without their parents' supervision, without their parents' approval at the age of 12. That's actually what people on the left, that's what liberals want. Liberals want children to be able to go through sex changes before they're even old enough to vote. So you don't know what you're talking about. Oh, God, that's crazy. Yeah, people on the left are the ones that get, they do drag shows for children. That's people on the left. So I don't know what you're talking about. Tyler Robinson and his boyfriend / trans girlfriend, his name was Lance Twiggs. I know you don't know that, but let me teach you. Lance Twiggs was what you call a furry, which is a way where they try to dress up like animals, and it's a weird little game, little anthropomorphic game where I guess they have sex with animals in a way. So it's some weird, it's people on the left that think that they can identify as cats, as he, she, they. That's people on the left, and that's what Lance Twiggs was. Lance Twiggs was on the left. They hated Charlie Kirk because Charlie Kirk was telling you straight up that biologically a man can't be a woman, and that it's not okay for men to want to transition and then play against women in women's combat sports. So you know I'm telling the truth. That's why y'all going crazy in the comments section. But you know I used to be on the left, and I know how these people talk. I grew up a Democrat. I'm from New York City. My whole family is Democrat for the most part, except the military people in my family, which is only a few. They are the only ones that are conservatives, and they are the ones that showed me what it really is to be a man. People on the left like to make excuses for everybody, except for white people, of course. When a white person does something, it's just, they're loonies. But when a black, oh, that's a normal. But when a black person does something, oh, he had mental health issues. Oh, he was in poverty. He was impoverished, and y'all make all these excuses all the time, and you don't want to be real. But the fact is that Tyler Robinson was on the left, and CNN even said it. Jimmy Kimmel came out and said that Tyler Robinson was MAGA, and he got kicked off of, well, he got suspended because he's putting out misinformation. When you read the People magazine, People did an article online. USA Today did an article online. The investigators that spoke to Tyler Robinson's mother said that he started getting more political and started opposing the family, and he really was arguing with his father, who's a Trump supporter. So he was arguing with his father because they disagreed on politics, because he was left, he was gay, and he was against Charlie Kirk saying that, no, a trans person can be, this and that. And Charlie Kirk was like, no, a trans person is either a male or a female. Then you have some anomalies, where you have a combination of both, which is not the norm. But there are only two genders. That's what I believe. There are only two genders. They're trying to change the word gender to mean personality now. So your personality can be a gender, which is not scientific. Biology is important. Your sex is important. And yeah, it matters, especially when we're talking to children. We don't want to teach them that, oh yeah, you're a boy, but if you want, you can turn into a woman and maybe even get pregnant. This is what people are saying on the left, okay? I'm not against the LGBTQ marriage. I'm against lying about basic biology. That's what I'm against. And I hope that you guys are too. I mean, why would you be for something like that? That's pure confusion. Pure confusion. People on the left like to make excuses for mental health. Somebody thinks that they're a man, but they're a woman. There's probably something wrong with them if you think that you're a woman, but you're really a man. But yeah, man, April's gone. April's gone. The Democratic Party got her. They got her. Yeah, let me get this light to turn on. I mean, listen, I'm not against, let them get married, whatever. That's none of my business. But once you start trying to teach children that a man could be a woman and a woman can be a man, if you want to change your sex, you want to cut your dingling off, that's none of my business either. But we need to make sure that these people are of age. If you can't drink, you can't vote, you can't smoke, you shouldn't be able to make these crazy, dramatic life decisions that are going to be irreversible. Because then you're going to really regret it. And that's why there's a high suicide rate in the LGBTQ community. There's a very high suicide rate. And I think we all know why. There's definitely some mental issues there. Well, that's the thing, is the gender is sex, and gender has always been sex. Just up until like recently, they started changing gender to mean whatever you feel like you are internally, which is that's not an objective way of looking at anything. Like, how can we objectively do that? Just because you dress like a woman doesn't mean that you're a woman. We need to make those distinctions and amplify it, because right now they're blurring those lines, and I think it's deceitful. And you got people that are thinking that, oh, these, like Charlie Kirk wasn't trying to take your right to marry your boyfriend. He wasn't trying to do that. He was just speaking the truth, and they killed him for it. And that was obviously somebody on the left that's pro LGBTQ in every shape or form, which sometimes comes with wanting to allow children to take hormones, and even without the parents' consent sometimes. I think even with the parents' consent, it shouldn't be allowed. because that's a life-changing decision. It's not like you're getting a piercing or a tattoo. Some of these people, you ask them in the streets, I've seen street interviews where they're asking these people, do you think it's okay for a 12-year-old to get a tattoo? And they'll say no, usually. And then you ask them, do you think it's okay for a 12-year-old to go through some sex change where they maybe take hormones or estrogen, or they even castrate themselves? And they'll say, yeah, if they want to do that, if they feel like doing that at 12, but they can't get a tattoo. This is how insane people on the left have become. And this shooter, Joshua Jan, of the ICE agents in Dallas, was another lefty who just went too far. He was completely against any immigration, it seems. Against any immigration laws. And also, the left-wing media is hyping it up as if Trump is just trying to deport all Hispanics. I'm still here. I'm Dominican. I was born in this country. But, like he's just trying to deport all immigrants. And this is not an attack on immigration. This is an actual reinforcing of the immigration policies that we already had, that even Obama was for, that even Clinton was for, that George Bush was for. Left or right, we know that we need immigration policies that are beneficial, that are solid. And what Biden allowed in the last 4 years to happen to come through the border is no excuse for that. And we need to chill out and stop that before things get out of hand. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm a white Hispanic is what I am. Do you think I'm a black Hispanic? Because Hispanic is an ethnicity and white is a race. So you can be a white Hispanic. Those things are not mutually exclusive, April. But I'm glad to teach you these things because obviously you don't know what the hell you're talking about. So you think I'm black, April? Do you think I'm black? I want to talk to this April. That's actually my favorite month. April is nuts. You think I'm a black Hispanic? I'm actually only 20% African and I'm 66% white is my DNA. That's what my DNA says. I'm 66% white. Like, are you serious? I look black to you? Like, come on, man. That's crazy. Yeah, my birthday's in April too. I am mixed, but I'm more white. I'm 66% white, 21% black, like 21% African, which can include North Africa, which North Africa is a little mixed, and then 11 or 12% indigenous. So I'm mostly white. You can call me mixed, that's fine. But for you to just erase the fact that I'm white is crazy. You want to erase the fact that I'm white or minimize my whiteness, and you want to amplify my blackness. Why? It doesn't make any sense. This is sickness. This is real sickness. That's actually a racist law called the one-drop rule, where no, there's people in the comment section saying I'm black. I'm reading the comment section. It's not just you here, April. I know you want to dominate, but it's not just you here. Obviously, I'm mixed. What I mostly am is European, which is white. And there's nothing wrong with that. Oh, you want to be white? I am white. What are you talking about? I'm mostly white. Like, that's crazy. I'm black too, but it's very minimal. And my indigenous DNA is barely even gonna show in my phenotype because it's less than 12% or right at 12%. And when your DNA comes to 12%, whatever, you're probably not gonna see that in the phenotype. So let's get that shit straight. If you think I'm mixed, that's fine. I guess you could consider me mixed. Let's go with that. But by you saying that, oh, you think you're white, as if I'm not, I don't have any white. Obviously, I do have white in me. So what's the problem with that? People use white like it's a slur. Oh, you white boy. Okay. The majority of Dominicans is mixed race. 85% of Dominicans are mixed race. Within those 85% mixed people, they're mostly European, from 55 to 65%. Then the African is usually from 29 or 28 to like 35%. And then the indigenous is like anywhere from 10 to 15%. Those are the normal percentages for, or the average percentages for mixed people in the Dominican Republic. When Dominicans say I'm not black or I know black, is because they don't want to associate with black Americans, because they know black people in America, they call themselves black. So when Dominicans hear, oh, are you black? They don't want to associate with black America. So they say, no, I'm not black, I'm Dominican, because in Dominican Republic, we're just all Dominicans. We don't really focus so much on, oh, you're black and you're white. It's not really a big mix. It's not really a big focus like that, because there's so many people that are mixed that it don't really matter. But make sure you give the video a like. Again, you can subscribe. Hey Italian says, you look 110% white. There's a few things about me that maybe look black, but look at my hair. This is black hair, and this is white hair, man. Come on. My nose. What kind of nose is that? It's not a wide nose. It's a little long, right? That's not black. Maybe the lips, maybe a little bit. My cranium, I don't have a big cranium. That's usually associated with sub-Saharan African. I have very little sub-Saharan African DNA. I have a little bit of Senegalese, a little bit of Nigeria, but it's very minimal. And it's fine that it's minimal. It doesn't matter. I'm an American first. Like I said, I was born and raised in New York City. And all this racial stuff is because of the reason why I focus on it is because everybody else focuses on it. And I try to educate myself on race and race relations as much as I can. And there's a lot of lies being spread out there through the mass media, which is mostly left-leaning. That when you hear that, oh, Tyler Robinson was right, because the mass media is mostly left, and they want to make you get the impression, they want to give you the impression that Tyler Robinson, the guy who shot a conservative, was actually also a conservative. And that's not true. His family was conservative. His family said that Tyler Robinson started moving. Why don't you go Google it and come back and tell me what you came up with? Why don't you read the USA Today article or the CNN article where it says that when investigators spoke with Tyler Robinson's mother, she said that Tyler was moving more to the left and started arguing with the family about politics because the family is MAGA, and he started going away from that because people in the universities, he just joined the university. He was a young man, I believe he was 22, 21. So he was probably radicalized by his friends, and people that age are mostly liberal. So his university, especially in these universities, so it's a push. You start getting peer pressured into, not want to admit that you are a Trump supporter. People are scared to admit that they're Trump supporters because people are pussies. And the truth of the matter is that Tyler Robinson was a liberal, a furry-loving liberal at that. If you don't know what a furry is, I just found out about it too. It's some weird shit, okay? Then you got the far right extremists like Nick Fuentes and all those dumb racist sons of bitches. I don't get down with Nick Fuentes. I'm not far right at all. I'm somewhere central. I'm not anti-abortion, even though I don't really think I would ever do that, and I never have. But I understand why some people might. So I can't be anti-abortion. But when it comes to abortion, I mean, I'm not gonna go past 2 months, maybe 3 months on timeline on that, because I think people need to own up to their own actions. And sometimes, and what's the majority of the time is happening with abortion is that it's being used as a plan B, to not take accountability for your actions. And like I said about LGBTQ, that's all far right stuff that they hate, gays and all of that. And you could even to go back. I'm on my lunch break right now. Sometimes I'll do this on the, during my lunch break around 12, 1. Yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much, I guess we went over a lot of stuff. But the shooter, Joshua Jan, we're talking about the Dallas ICE facility shooting. It's still coming out more about him, but it seems like he's a person that is on the left because of the fact that he wrote cryptic messages on the bullets about anti-fascism, which is typical with people on the left who call people on the right fascists. They call people on the right Nazis. And that's a liberal thing. That's where liberals are at right now. Just trying to name call, trying to dehumanize people on the right by calling them Nazis and calling them all types of negative things that, makes them look like they're evil and they're worthy of being murdered even. That's why you have people celebrating Charlie Kirk's murder, even though Charlie Kirk was like Mr. Rogers on earth, man. I've never heard one hateful thing that he said. And if you want to take his words out of context, go ahead. We maybe could talk about it another time. But thank you for coming through. We have more left-wing terrorism, extremism that hit this country in Dallas now. That's what it looks like with Joshua Jan. We're getting more information. I know that Kash Patel is on top of all of that right now. That's the FBI director. And we'll see what comes out. This just happened. So give it a minute. And maybe I'll get back and do another story on that, all right? I'm out of here, y'all. Subscribe to San Miguel. Catch me on the next one. Hit the like button and all that good stuff. I'm gone.